Righto, good morning guys. If you don't know this place already, we are down at Kustom Fab. We're here with Pat. We're going to be doing some new, I'm just going to go and say it, we're getting some sliders for the car. So I got these from a bloke on Facebook Marketplace. You get a DIY pre-done slider kit. Basically, the guy gives you all the metal, it's pre-bent, it's pre-cut, it's pre-notched, and you just let him know what size you need. So I've gone for an 1800 kit. That'll cover basically from the wheel well back to the rear of the cab. So in the kit you get obviously the main bent piece, you also get the straight piece and the two little, I don't know, little bits to go inside. You get a bunch of bits to come from off the chassis mount and then some flat bar to make up your chassis mount. So basically you just make up a U shape, it goes around your chassis, and then I went and bought some bolts because it doesn't come with bolts. On Pat's 80 he's got basically the same slider setup. And as you can see, it kicks up a bit rather than just be flat like a side step. That's what we're going for. We're going to make it a bit more aggressive, and then in future when I do the hoops on the bar, on the bull bar, sorry, we'll come off here, bend it around the wheel arch and to the bull bar. So we're starting with this. I need these because Easter time I think I'm going down to Lithgow, and the last thing I want to do is some seal damage on my birthday holiday. I think this is a pretty good investment to do. That kit cost me 300 bucks off Facebook. I think that's pretty decent priced. I did have a bloke lined up to do sliders and sidebars for me all in one, but I'm just not ready with the bull bar yet to go and do that. So this is a little bit of a cheaper alternative. Pat's here just going to weld it up because he's a pro and I'm not going to do that. It'll snap the first rock step I get stuck on. Pat's already started welding up the first slider, and I'm going to start playing around with how it's all going to mount up, try and bend them up and get ready for him to just tack it straight on. We've started going through and doing most of the work. I have cut and done all of the U brackets that we need. As you can see there's 5. Pat's doing the last one inside. We've got all our pieces ready to go, and the sliders have been all welded up. So we ended up capping the ends. He had some spare metal here, so we just capped the ends up. They're all done and dusted, both of them. And as soon as Pat's done with the last, I guess, the chassis mount, the U bracket, then we'll get straight into bolting it all up and basically welding it on, doing the final steps, I guess. But yeah, we're cracking on. We're getting almost done. How good's this hat too? Lucky Pat, he's got good hats. But anyway, he's finishing that up, and then I'm going to start bolting these on and seeing how they all fit. Righto guys, these sliders are tacked up now. So we didn't get really show too much of doing it all because we want to get it on pretty quick and stuff. But they're all up and hanging with tacks. The jack stand's not doing anything over there. We're going to drop these down now, and Pat's going to weld them all up for us. So yeah, turn up our Righto guys, sliders are off, welded up and back in the canopy. We're going to take them home in the back so that I can paint them all up, sand them, do all that sort of stuff, and make them weatherproof, I suppose, so they're not going to rust on me. And we're golden. We're ready to hit Lithgow and test it on some serious rocks without stuffing me seals. Rightio guys, we're back home now. I've stopped in, had some lunch, and we are back ready to start painting, sanding and painting these sliders. So I've set up a couple of stools. I've got my sandpaper and my paint ready. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to try hand sanding it first, see what happens. And then we're going to be using this. This is just Super Cheap Auto metal cover. Sorry, not color. Last time I done the primer and then painted it as well. This ended up cheaper to do it, just get those two cans. and it would be a lot less effort and less time for drying and things like that, because it's just, you know, one spray paint going straight on. But for now, while this sun's out, let's get some paint down so I can install these maybe tomorrow. Righto guys, we are packing up for the night. I have gone over and done 2 coats of paint. They're a matte black finish, so as you might be able to see, they're starting to go matte. They dry, or they go matte very, very quickly, so it's a bit hard to tell if they're dry or not, but I just haven't touched them. I've gone over, I've used both cans on the sliders, and I basically used them down to nothing. You definitely need 2 cans at least to do this, just because bar work, you have overspray, things like that. I'm going to leave this here maybe for a day or 2. I might check it tomorrow afternoon after work and see if it's dry enough to just bring inside or something like that, but I won't put it on the car for a few days, I think, until inside the U-shapes are quite dry and really cured, because the last thing I want to do is bash them up and really scratch the crap out of them as I'm sliding them up. They are a very snug fit. They basically fit perfectly on it. You got to just give it some gentle persuasion with a mallet. Yeah, so I don't really want to scratch that paint off. We'll give it a few days and let it cure up, and then slap them on.
A few moments later.
Rightio guys, so fast forward about a week. Unfortunately, I had the sliders and everything done last weekend. Well, you know, by Tuesday or something like that. They were painted, they were hung up, ready to go on, and unfortunately my front wheel bearings blew up, which means the car was off the road for a bit, and I wanted to get them fixed before I went ahead and done the sliders and put them on and everything. So I got that fixed, and then I also wanted to clay bar the car and really clean down on those sills and everything, ready for these sliders to go up, just because it's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to try and clean in between the slider and the sill. I've just come back from a camping trip, so I finished packing up today and cleaned up and washed the car and all that, and I believe I've now come down with a cold, so if my voice sounds a bit funny, I apologise, and don't worry, not COVID, just a cold. But I'm really stoked to get the sliders finally on, and I'm keen to test them out. So let's get these puppies on. I've got pretty much everything I need here. We've got those bolts again with all the washers, got a ratcheting spanner and a normal, and some Loctite just to hold it all on. We're going to use the jack just to jack it up. Hold it all up there, get it in where I need to go, and then just basically compress the whole slider up. Those U brackets will, you know, go as far as they can pretty much, so I'll grab the rubber mallet, give it some gentle persuasion if I have to, but we'll be able to push these things right up, get them nice and snug, put that bolt through, and bolt it up real tight. Righto, well, sliders are on and bolted up, looking all nice. I've pretty much made them so that they're, you know, just inside the tyre. They're almost in line with the whole thing. Obviously the tray sticks out quite a bit down there with the wheel arch, so I tried to get as best as I could, but I'm going to have the scrub bar come off that over to the hoop, so I didn't want it sticking out too far, but yeah, as you can see, it's kind of in line with the tyres. I think that looks pretty sick. We done the roughly 20 degrees or so kick up, where if you don't know what that means, it's rather than being flat like a side step, it kicks up. As you can see there, it sort of goes up on an angle, mounting up as you would have seen previously, but it's just more tubing across, and then you get a bunch of flat bar in this DIY kit, and you make up a U-bolt hanger, whack a bolt up there that you can see, and that's how you mount it all up. I had an issue with this side. The front one just wasn't working. I think when we welded it, obviously the heat makes things warp a little bit, and the hole wasn't perfectly on point. I got there in the end, but if I ever take these off, I reckon I'll just make that hole a little bit bigger at the front. Pretty keen to give them a test out, and we'll see how hard they how well they handle up when you have about 2 ton dropping down onto it. But anyway, so I think this kit turned out pretty well for 300 bucks, and you know, obviously welding and a bit of painting. If you know how to do welding yourself, then 300 bucks is all it's going to cost you. But if you got to get someone to do it like I do, then you know, it could cost a couple extra hundred or so. I think it took us about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, something like that, to get it done. and I think it turned up pretty damn well. Now it does look like it sits heaps down here, but that's pretty much as high as we could bring it, and I didn't want these to be on a massive angle because the sidebar will actually need to come off that, and if I have it on too hard of an angle then it will interfere with the door and we'll just have issues. So at the moment the door opens, it's got heaps of clearance. I should never bend that up. If I bend that up I should never, you know, not be able to open the door. It should always just open, and yeah, it came up pretty well. That is probably the same diameter, so 32 NB, which I will use on the hoops and the sidebars, so 32 NB will be the whole thing all the way around. And then I also done a rough weight calculation sort of thing. I done the old jump on some scales, minus your body weight, but it was 12.9 kilos, so that's, you know, just under 26 kilos for both. I reckon that's pretty light, maybe, I don't know what other ones weigh, but it should be pretty decent. Still way under GVM. If you guys follow my Instagram at all, I went and weighed the car. The GVM for the Colorado is 3,150 kilograms. I think I was about 2,100 and something roughly. So another 20, and you know, I'm still under the 2,200 mark. So I've still got like another 900 kilos or so to put on the car, which is really good. Fingers crossed that, you know, everything else comes in under that and I'll never have to do a GVM upgrade. So I'm pretty stoked with how that turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys want to give it a crack yourself. I had a great time building them all, and I'm really keen to test them out. Oh, one thing I will show you. As I explained earlier in the video, we have a massive counterlever coming off the front here. So the 3 mounting points is there, here and there. We have about, I don't know, 600-700 maybe mil between the last mounting point and the end of this. The problem with doing this is obviously you got a massive counterlever. If you come down hard on a rock here, there's chances it will bend up because there's just no support holding it to the chassis. The reason we couldn't do that is because there's just a lot going on. The flat bar wasn't going to be able to make a U-bracket and it just wouldn't work out too well. So once I have this bar on here, it'll strengthen it up. But another thing we might do is run some sort of square to flat or a triangle, or try and make something strong enough that can go from here and probably bolt to those 2 bolts just over there, just these ones here, or even to the body mount here. Not 100% sure yet, but we'll figure out a way to strengthen this front section up. The last thing I want to do is come down hard on a rock dropping off and just push that straight up into the guard and, you know, bend it all here, and then, you know, the whole thing's just a chuck away and try again. So long story short, I think this is an awesome mod. Definitely something you should do to your car as early as you can, because if you are still on stock suspension, lowered, things like that, then coming down on things hard on your sills or factory plastic side steps is not good. As you can all remember, I used to have plastic crap side steps on this, and basically it ripped it all off the chassis. There's still bolts in, there's still the bolts stuck in the thread that snapped, and it also damaged my sills a little bit by like tearing them and things like that. So you definitely need to go about doing this sort of stuff early, get rid of the cheap crappy side steps and get some sliders if you want to be doing some tough tracks like we try to do. I wish I'd done it a lot earlier, but I'm finally happy that these are on. They're definitely something that will really save a lot of money in the long run. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got any questions, or basically anything you want to let me know. I'll try to get back to you as much as possible. Subscribe if you're new. You'll see more of this on the channel. We've got a few other cars coming up and a few trip videos. But other than that guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.